And now, News 10 Today continues.
You're watching News 10 Today. I'm Lori Gilbert, visiting in studio with the Elko City Manager, Curtis Calder, talking about some advance items on the draft agenda for the August 25th meeting that's coming up, Curtis. Obviously, some things are in motion, though, on redevelopment efforts downtown. We want to make sure we mention that. There's a redevelopment advisory committee meeting, which is actually the time of this broadcast, will be held this afternoon at City Hall, 1 o'clock.
Yep, that's correct. I think it's actually at 1:30, but
Okay.
It is in the council chambers, and that's the advisory council that makes recommendations to the RDA, which in our case the RDA is also the city council, but a separate entity, and they're having a meeting on Tuesday at 1:30 prior to the city council meeting. So between 1:30 and 4, there should be an RDA meeting underway on Tuesday the 25th.
All right, and that's important for people to chime in on it, I guess, Curtis, or weigh in on, because the council, the city council, could decide which direction to go, if at all, on downtown redevelopment, or at least the latest plan.
Yeah, the two items on the agenda will be the downtown corridor plan that's been proposed. We're looking for a recommendation from the advisory council on that and/or staff. And then also the overlay project, the urban overlay design. That's something that'll be discussed as well. Whether or not that's ready for approval or not remains to be seen. And then there's yet a third study, the economic study of downtown, which is complete, but it's not on either one of these upcoming agendas. It'll probably be in the month of September before the council or the RAC take any type of action on that. So there's a lot of things going on. We've gotten a lot of feedback from downtown businesses and property owners in the corridor area, and there's definitely not consensus on what needs to happen down there. So yeah, the more people that show up to these meetings, the better, because I think the city council, i.e. the RDA, is looking for that public input, and we'll certainly take that into consideration before making any decisions.
Well, and again, about $300,000 has been spent so far on the consultants? Yeah,
just this go around. We've had other consulting studies that happened a year or two ago as well. These are studies that build upon those studies. And so there's been a lot spent on analysis and study of the RDA, and I think there's a growing frustration that it's time to actually build something rather than study it. But again, without having consensus on what to build and how to build it and how much to spend, it's difficult to really move the project forward.
In referring to an Elko Daily Free Press article, at least one downtown business owner expressed frustration that money would be invested in a sports complex before being invested in the downtown. Is there a city response to that?
Well, the only thing I can respond to is that those are two different funding sources completely. So the sports complex is being funded through a room tax increase that's being paid for by people who visit hotels in Elko. The downtown project's actually being funded through tax increment, which is part of the entire redevelopment plan that was established back in 2007, 2008. So two different funding sources, and I think it's possible to do both projects. I don't think that's an issue. I just think the amount of money spent on either one of those projects is what needs to be decided.
Mm-hmm. And the city has shown its investment in infrastructure for the downtown area. I mean, East End has developed, Elko Junction has developed, Curtis, and those private property owners put considerable amounts of their own money into those investments.
Yes, certainly those are privately owned, and they've made investments, and I'm sure they're expecting a return on their investment. The city has a responsibility from a maintenance perspective in the downtown corridor. The city understands that. The city also understands that the tax increment needs to be used down in the RDA, maybe not just the corridor, but the entire redevelopment area. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of discussions. It's been controversial, but it's been good because people have kind of come forward and they're starting to opine on what they think should happen in the downtown.
All right, so again, the next chance to weigh in, a Resource Advisory Committee meeting this afternoon, 1:30 at City Hall, and then that leads to Tuesday's regular RDA meeting in which the council may or may not make some decisions next Tuesday.